Okay. Thank you for the birthday video and song. It's amazing. I love it. My kiddos are so sweet too. They sang me happy birthday yesterday with the cupcakes, and then I blew out the candles on the cupcakes, but it was so cute listening to them sing happy birthday to me. I just felt so loved. Like, they are just so incredibly sweet. So it's crazy that you had super intense, vivid dreams the last 2 nights, since that's like literally what happened to me, the last 2 nights. And it was Wednesday morning that I went for the, sunrise walk. And then it was Wednesday night and Thursday night that I had, like, the middle of the night, all that crazy stuff. The crazy stuff with the fire alarm, and I think I had dreams. Did I have dreams that night? I don't know. If I did, I don't remember now. But, oh yeah, I did, because of the ship sinking. I told you about the ship sinking. I don't know what it is, but there's gonna be some, and you wanna know the really fucking cool thing? I said, like, forever ago, I want to be a first responder. Like, I could see myself, and I don't know if I need to, like, go to school for something like that, or if I'm just allowed to do it based off of instinct, and based off of the fact, I need to renew my CPR. Okay, shit. That I do need to do. I will do that, and I will take the online class and renew my CPR. I am so glad I'm talking about this, because at least then I'm CPR certified. So that when it comes to this, I'll have my BLS, basic life support, is that what it is? But it's special for healthcare providers. So it's slightly more advanced than, like, what somebody would take on the street. So, like, do I feel like I need it? No. I mean, when it really comes down to it, anytime I've been in, like, an emergency situation, I usually do pretty good. Like, there was a woman one time at, so Dave and I went out to eat, and we took Julie, I can't even think of her last name, and her husband, but no, he didn't end up coming. So we took Julie out to eat, because we were thinking about hiring her. In hindsight 2020, she wanted a ton of money. Wish we would have hired her. She would have been way better, way more motivated, like, than hiring somebody for less money. But she was basically asking for, like, a manager salary without necessarily managerial responsibilities, but we could have given her, like, marketing responsibilities, like making and posting videos, like exercise videos. But again, hindsight 2020, it is what it is. So, still seeing the lean billboards, like, all over the place. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Obviously, there's 3 in front of me right now. Like, literally 3 personal injury billboards in front of me. I don't know what the message is that I'm missing. I think there's one outstanding lien that I could call on for, like, $800. So I should call on that one. Because that one, they were supposed to follow back up with me, like, 2 years ago, and never did. And they still owe, like $800. But again, I feel like I don't really necessarily need to work at this stuff, and it should just happen. But maybe I'll just call on that one. So that would at least cover mortgage. So, anywho, I just rambled a lot there. The dreams and the vivid dreams. Oh, okay. So I said this, like, forever ago. Like, I don't even know how long I said this. And I didn't realize that maybe I've been manifesting this whole time. I said, I would love to be a first responder. Like, I guess that's like a paramedic, you know? Like, somebody in case of emergency. Like, the people basically there on the ground right after 9/11, right? So, first responder, though, I think is like a paramedic or an EMT. I forget. One has more school, one has less school. Like, one is like basic, and then one you need more. So, I don't know, I still could do that schooling. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, or maybe I don't need to do the schooling, but I do need to renew my CPR. So I will at least do that. But I seriously have been saying that for like years, and I forgot that I said that. I was like, I would love to be a first responder. And somebody that I told it to was like, oh, I could definitely see you doing that. That seems like something that you would really enjoy. Like being there in the moment to help people in trauma. It's just so crazy. I completely forgot about saying that. So anywho, so I don't know what it's going to be, but I think I'm going to get the chance to be a first responder. So whatever that looks like, I'm pretty pumped. And it's funny because I said it forever ago and then I kind of forgot, and then my CPR did expire, I think end of June. Maybe it was end of May. I don't know. So I do need to renew that. Pretty sure I can just do it online. Pretty sure it's not like it matters the whole like 30 breaths and then 30 compressions and then 2 rescue breaths. Like, they really say the biggest thing is the heart compressions. And I've taken CPR now for, since I was like a teenager, because I started taking it when I was like 12. So before being a teenager, I think I started when I was like 12 to take it for, that's the story I was going to tell. To start taking it for babysitting. That was the first time I ever took it. I remember going to the class. They give you like this huge binder, all this stuff. Went through it, and then I probably let it lapse for a while, and then needed it again as a massage therapist and a physical therapist. Definitely needed it as a physical therapist. So I've been taking it now for like at least 11 years, and you have to do it like it was, I think, like biannual. So, point of the story, so Dave and I almost hired this girl, Julie, on, who I met her working at doing an internship at a physical therapy place, and she would have been a really good fit for our clinic, but we were so worried about the money, and again, she would have made up for it by bringing in more people, and yeah, so she definitely would have been better. Oh my god, like this is like almost totally healed. This is so cool. There's like minimal left. So this is almost completely healed, but this is breaking out more. Like, this is breaking out a lot. Like, a lot. And it itches. Like, right side more than the left. But what's the armpit mean? I don't know if we ever necessarily figured out, like, that area in particular. Like, what does the armpit mean? Like, I thought it maybe had to do with getting the breast implants removed, but now I'm not sure. And it itches a little bit down on my hip bones, so I don't know, maybe that has to do with underwear, and maybe I'm not supposed to wear underwear, but I don't like the fact of, like, the idea of not wearing underwear with clothes, because then you have to wash your shorts or your pants every time, or I don't want to, and I don't want to do that much laundry, and, I mean, I can walk around the house naked, but, like we already talked about, like, I still have to wear clothes. So, I don't know. Unless I move to somewhere where they don't require clothes, like I was telling you about. I don't know. I'm confused, and it itches really bad under my armpits. And it's like, okay, obviously I'm not getting the message. Can we send me some more obvious signs, universe, about what this is about, instead of making it worse? Like, send me some more, like, insanely obvious signs so that I know what the hell this is. It's fine. We already know. I'm letting go of my ego. I will take care of it. Just, I need some, like, really, 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 really obvious signs. So, we went out to eat with Julie. Figure out to eat at this restaurant at, like, the outdoor, one of those outdoor malls. And this older woman, she, like, was there with somebody, like, maybe her son. She had definitely had too much to drink. Not too much. She had definitely had a lot to drink, right? Like, a lot. And I mean, she was old. Like, she was older. Like, I don't know, like, minimum 80 kind of seemed like minimum, like, really older, kind of, you know, like the little grandma. So, while we're there at the table, Julie and I at least see this woman Like, it's just, you just observe. And we see her get up with her son, and we see them leave, and we see them walk outside, and we see her collapse. So I tell Julie, call 911. So she starts to call, or she says, I'll kind of call 911. I don't know. Like, we worked it out between us. Easy peasy. Like, both being healthcare providers. It was just seamless. So she immediately does it. And I go to the woman who's collapsed on her back, who's had a lot to drink, who could easily start throwing up or seizing or, something. I think we were worried that she was I think she was coughing. Like, she was throwing up. She was throwing up. So I immediately roll her onto her side so that she doesn't choke on her own vomit, because it's what you do. So I immediately roll her onto her side. So she's conscious, she's coughing, she's throwing up. So no CPR, nothing necessary, right? So I don't have to worry about that. So I hang out with them, paramedics come, Julie and I go head back to the dinner table. Like, it wasn't even like we didn't freak out. We just went and handled our business and moved on. And then when Callie had her seizure, same thing. Dave and I, like, midnight on 12/22, which is the day that Dave's brother Eric, his birthday, or the day he passed on. I can't remember. But literally at midnight on 12/22, it's either the day that Eric was born or passed away. Callie started, the most, like, weirdest cry that we've ever heard. And both of us looked at each other and knew. And I pulled up the camera, or Dave pulled up the camera, and he looks and he sees, So, I can't remember. I think she, like, wasn't moving. So we immediately, like, we would do sometimes, like, the crying and self-soothe, but we both knew it was not a normal cry. So he goes in immediately and goes and grabs her and carries her out, and she is limp and head rolled back, eyes rolled back, like, just totally limp. And I said, Dave, she's having a seizure, call 911. I don't know why I told him to do it when he was holding her, but I did. And I didn't even remember saying that. I literally just, like, immediately recognized she's having a seizure, call 911. Oh, so he brought her over to me. So I'm holding her, just comforting her. I was freaking out in that moment because it's your baby. Like, I was majorly freaking out. On the phone with the paramedics, and, does she feel warm? Yes. So they tell us to strip her down. Put cool washcloths on her, whatever. I can't remember what her temperature, it was like 104.6 or 10, it was high. And then, so they came, and then they took her temperature again, and they took it, and they said whatever it was, right? So then she does eventually come back around. That was the whole night that they said, take her into the ER. That's a whole nother story. God, that was traumatic as shit for both her and I. Because that was, like, they literally, I look back at this now and I'm so pissed. So we do take her in to, like, try to figure out what it was. So before that, though, so the paramedics are there. We kind of cool her down. She's not seizing anymore. There was no shaking. It was just she was limp, eyes rolled back, and I said, Dave, she's having a seizure, call 911. Again, instinct, right? Like, you just instinct, somehow you knew. I had no clue that you could present, like, a seizure like that, but obviously I did. Maybe I've been a first responder at some point, actually, now that I think about it, with these, like, innate reflexes. It's a possibility. So, we take her in, they do some tests, to figure out what it was that caused the high fever, right? Like, why did she seize? Before that, the paramedics, whatever, they take her temperature, they say what it is. A while later, they take it, And I hear the guy ask, what's her temperature? And the guy clearly does not want to say what her temperature is. He's like, dude, what is it? And he, like, clearly does not want to respond. And he does, but he kind of, like, tries to, like, mumble it, you know, like say it quietly to the guy, because it was higher than what it was when he first took it. And I think he was worried about freaking me out. So there's a pink car. That is awesome. Pink Pontiac. It's like a SUV kind of thingy. I don't know, like a hybrid car SUV. So anyways, I'm still seeing all these Raffy loggers. I don't know what you're supposed to tell. Like, I don't understand, universe. What about the Raffy? Like, I don't understand. So, and personal injury in general. So anywho, 987. I swear, the universe just counts me down all the time now. So, anywho, at the hospital, they run some tests. The doctors there and nurses there are awful. Nobody introduces themselves. Nobody tells you what the fuck they're doing. It's fucking horrible. Like, the healthcare system is, and I get it, it's because they're all, like, overworked. They're, you know, probably not getting reimbursed what they should. They are all overworked and insanely busy, and because reimbursement from insurance sucks ass, and it's bullshit. These are people's lives we're talking about. It's absolute bullshit. Insurance should not be privatized. It shouldn't. So, like, when it comes to healthcare and your health, it just, yeah. So, one of the tests that they want to do is to see if she had a bladder infection. So she's 18 months old. So they don't have you pee in a cup when you're 18 months. They cath you. They literally asked Dave to step out of the room. I'm seeing a lot of garage door billboards too. I do need a garage door opener. I think I told you that. I don't know if that's also telling me I'm going to end up needing a new garage door before I sell the home, which is cool. That's fine. I'll do it if I need to. But I'm literally seeing garage door billboards everywhere. It's either that or a personal injury. Like, if I need a new garage door, that's cool. I'll get it before I sell the home. I'll do that instead of the master bathroom, if that's really what you want me to do, universe. Like, you just tell me and I'll do it. So, they literally asked Dave to step out of the room. And then they tell me to hold my daughter. So my daughter's laying on her back on a table. They tell me to hold her arms down while they cath her. I did it, right? Because that's what they told me to do. And you're in the middle of all the shit going on, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and you don't know any better. And I didn't know any better, you know, not you, but me. And I look back at that and I'm like, I am fucking pissed that they asked me to do that. That is fucking traumatic. Traumatic as fuck to sit there and have somebody hold your arms down. Your mom, traumatic for her, traumatic for me, to hold her down while they shove a catheter up her urethra. And they made Dave fucking leave the room. Like, fucking livid as shit. Probably because Dave would have been like, fuck no, you're not doing that. And then there's me, who just is like, doing as I'm told. Because, right, I do as I'm told, right? Fucking pissed. It was negative. But just fucking pissed that that's the way that it went down. That's fucking, like, she was 18 months. She was, like, you know, capable of stuff, probably capable of going pee, and if not, then I don't know, figuring out a different way to do it other than shoving something up her tiny little urethra and making me hold her down while doing it, just like they like fucking try to get you to do now for shots. Like, instead of just letting the kids sit up and get your shot, they fucking make you lay your child down and hold their legs and their arms to fucking like force it. It's fucking traumatic as shit. Who the fuck thinks this shit is good idea? Good ideas. Like, or, like, what, however you say that. Fucking bullshit. So anywho, I'm just driving while I tell this story because it's what I do, right? So, all that stuff. Kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. Which school is that? I'm kind of curious. I think I'm going to go back and go look. Okay, so anyways, I'm sure she's got major trauma from that one. Like, that's probably going to be a date for her, for sure. Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to tell you about that. I don't even know how I got off on that random tangent there. But, I mean, oh my god, there was this... did I tag you in that? I don't think I tagged you in it. I gotta tag you in that. It was on Instagram. And it's basically like, be ready for me to tell you a story with 7 mini stories and 19 other, topics in the story. It was something like that. It was hilarious. I was like, that is me to a T. Can't believe I didn't tag you in that. I gotta do that. So, last night, I mean, maybe I'm just processing through my own shit with Dave and relapsing, but you know how we talked about, like, what's the worst case scenario? And I said him abusing Sam and sending her to the hospital, and you said him relapsing in front of Sam. So, last night, I wake up, like, very, very slowly. Not, like, startled awake, but waking up, like, super slowly to this dream that's been transpiring. I wrote it all down. As much of it as I could remember, I wrote down. But basically, we're in a house. It's Dave, me, Hobbs, and I write down the Desert Dojo. So who's the instructor here? It has jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. Desert Dojo, where's it at? Oh my gosh, I do not want to go over another one of those speed bumps. That is like a little bit too big there. So, I'm just driving by this martial arts center to look at it. Kids, teens, adults, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, thedesertdojo.com. I'm gonna have to look up and see who that is, just out of curiosity. It looks very karate-ish. Free pregnancy tests and ultrasounds. Free care because we care. Well, that's cool. New Horizon Community Care. Oh, Desert Family I Care. Oh. Alright, anyways, I've never seen this little shopping plaza before. Still don't know what I'm supposed to do about the eyes. I see this about eye exams and glasses. I still don't understand what I'm supposed to do about these, other than I don't think my body's happy with me wearing them. And I've been wearing them less, and it doesn't really seem to want me to wear my contacts, which I will still probably occasionally wear. But again, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. So, like, am I supposed to go get LASIK? I did not think that was the case, but again, I'm not seeing any signs for LASIK. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what this is. But I'm not happy about it either. Like, universe, you're gonna need to send me some, oh god, no, it just, because I just touched it. Fuck. I've been totally scratching it too. It's definitely getting worse and not getting better. I mean, it's very slowly getting worse. It's not fast, which is nice. But it's like, okay, universe, if you're trying to get me a message, like, with this shit, be more obvious about it. If it's a fucking leans, I thought that the rash stuff, like, meant don't put anything on me or in me, right? What do you not want me to put on you or in you? If it's my glasses, you need to give me a solution of what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Maybe it's that LASIK surgery that I talked about and watching it and then imagining that I'm getting it. I don't know. But I'm not seeing any videos about, like, hey, here's a video about LASIK surgery. Like, I don't understand what this is. So, it's really cool, though, that I figured out the finger being the tattoos. That's cool. I said I'll get them all 3 removed. So, I don't know, universe. Be more specific. So, anywho. Last night, the dream. So, we're in a house. It's our house. Like, it's not the house that I currently live in, but I just acknowledge that it is a house that's Dave and I's house. Like, it is our house, Dave's house, my house. Why we live there together when I know we're not actually together, I don't know. But it is our house. So we're there. We're on the second floor of this house. We're in a bedroom. There is what I wrote down was a big black football player. And I was like, I recognize this person though, but who is this person? And it takes me a while to think of who it is. And I don't know if you've ever seen this show. It's called The Neighborhood. It's on CBS, and I actually pay to subscribe to CBS, and I don't even know how much it is, but I should really get rid of it because I don't really watch the show anymore. It's got Cedric the Entertainer in it. It's got the blonde girl from Two Broke Girls, and I fucking loved that show. So it's got her in it, and it's got the Jewish guy from, oh my god, what's the show called? New Girl, the one with Zooey Deschanel. Wow, I did really good remembering all those people, though. I'm pretty impressed. So, it's about these two families. It's about, basically, they live in Michigan. It's a black neighborhood, and this white family comes and moves in, and it's the blonde girl from Two Broke Girls, the Jewish guy, and their son. Their son kind of reminds me of Riley, like very much into like technology and tablets and games, video games and stuff like that, right? So they come and they move in to this house in the middle of a black neighborhood. So they are the only white people. And it's just a comedy. And they live next door to Cedric the Entertainer, his wife, and then they have two sons that are older that no longer live at home. But one of them ends up like not having a job and then living back at home, or maybe he originally lives at home and then moves out and then back in. But basically they're older, right? And the other one is like a nerdy guy, like into Star Trek and collectibles and all that kind of stuff. And he does get his own place, but he always comes back for his mom to do his laundry. So, I don't know. It's pretty entertaining. But I haven't watched it in a while. And I'm pretty sure I pay for the CBS through maybe Amazon or something like that. And again, I don't know, it's probably like $4 a month or something, but I never fucking watch the show anymore. But for me, it was worth it to watch the show because I was like watching it and I caught up to it. And then like I binge watched it, but you know, for me, binge watching takes forever. And then I wanted to keep watching it. So I still have CBS on, like the CBS access, even though that's the only show I watch on there and I hardly ever watch it. I gotta figure out how to, like, watch that stuff online again, like, download it. I used to know all that shit. So anyways, it's the nerdy guy who's a little overweight, you know, like got a little extra weight, if you would say, on him. A little softer, like, doesn't work out. But it was him. But it's funny, because in my dream, I saw him as, like, a big black football player. So anyways, he's there. And I'm there. And Hobbs is there. Callie is not there. Hobbs was a little bit younger than he is now. He was more like baby. But it was Hobbs. And then Callie was not there. Callie was either at, like, I knew Callie existed, but she was either at school or I don't know. She was somewhere else. I told Callie I had a dream about her last night and she wasn't there, and she said, it's because I was swimming. And I said, oh, okay, it's because you were swimming. So we're upstairs in the bedroom, Dave and I think Hobbs must have been with the big black football player who I don't know his name, but Dave was packing, and Dave had a big gallon, the gallon size freezer bags, one of those filled with a bunch of different like medication bottles, like those orange ones, some small with without labels, some ginormous with labels. And he had a smaller, like, sandwich-sized baggie, or even, like, one of those half-sandwich-sized baggies. And he was taking, like, one pill from each of the bottles and putting it into the smaller sandwich-sized baggie, like, dishing out his medication for the day. So, out of curiosity, I asked, and I said, so what medication are you even on anymore? So, he starts to tell me, one of them might have been Adderall. I can't honestly remember. But I do remember, but they were, like, different, like, medications, like pain pills or, you know, stuff that he's taken in the past, right? That he ended up having addiction issues with. So, it was something that looked like maybe an Adderall. And then there was a smaller bottle. And I said, well, what's that one? And he said, oh, this is Hobbs pain medication. And I said, what is it? And he was like, because there was no label on this one. It was just a small orange bottle without a label. Like, the label had been peeled off. Or put in a different, like, bottle to, like, keep it a secret what it was. And Dave said, oh, and I recognized it as either, like, hydrocodone or oxycodone. And he said, oh, yeah, it is. And he said, you know, whichever one it is. It's Hobbs pain medication. I was like, Hobbs pain medication? He's like, yeah. And I was like, what strength is that? And he goes, well, it's not 4, but it's not the 7.5. Well, there is no, or the 7, or something like that. Well, there is no, oh, hey, you're here. Sorry, you can't leave reactions because I'm talking. There is no 4. There's only 5 or 7.5. Right, because I know all this. Oh, and the other medication, I asked him what strength it was too, and he said whatever it was. It might have been like a blue Adderall, which is like a 10 milligram one. I think that might have been what it was, now that I'm thinking about it and like picturing it. So anyways, he's taking one and putting it in his bag, and I was like, well, why are you putting it in your bag? And he was like, well, because I take it. And I'm like, but it's for Hobbs. And I'm like, okay, so he's using again, right? So, like, it all comes to light that he is using again, right? He's relapsed. So, I go, dude, I can't let you take the kids. Like, and in the meantime, the big black football player, because I don't know what his name is. I don't even know what his name is on the show, because one of them's name is Malcolm. God, seriously, Rafi and Garage Door. Like, what the fuck? Is this just a synchronicity so that I'm ready for it whenever it comes around? Is that all this is? I don't have to do anything, do I? Like, I did call Rafi and he didn't he never called me back. This one doesn't say call Rafi on it. It's just, I literally see his billboards everywhere, Danielle. So, I don't know. Does that just mean sit back and wait, and when something happens and it's an injury and it has to do with Rafi, I'm ready? And same with the garage door. Just know that I'm going to need a new garage door before I sell the home. Okay, cool. Done. So, I don't know. Maybe I should refinance before I sell, but I don't know. Or I just ask my parents for money for this stuff and then I pay them back. Another Rafi one. God, Danielle, I literally feel like I'm gonna go crazy. I'll look up the Rafi liens and see if I have one, but I don't think I have any open liens under Rafi, but I don't know, maybe I do and I just don't know. So, in the meantime, the football player, because I don't know his name, like, in the show, one of them's Malcolm, but I think Malcolm's his brother. I don't know, maybe Malcolm's the one who's into Star Trek and stuff. I don't know. But anyways, he takes my car and he puts Hobbs in the car seat and he starts to slowly drive away with my car. So I go downstairs and I know this is going on. So I told Dave, I was like, dude, I can't let you have the kids. Like, it's just not I can't let you have them until you're clean and sober. Like, so I go downstairs and I go out my front door. My grandpa's there. I was like, oh, hey, Grandpa. And it was like he was going inside to go, like, my grandpa's already passed away, but he is one of my major spirit guides, like, which is funny because he didn't come to me until after I asked, hey, if you're here, give me a sign that you're here, the whole pink carnation thing. And then he did it through the smell of popcorn twice. So he's definitely here, definitely one of my spirit guides. He's the one who comes in my past life regressions and he answers questions for me, you know. So he is huge spirit guide for me. So I walk out the front door and there's my grandpa. It's my grandpa. Like, it looks like him. Like, so I recognize him. Like, in this lifetime, it looks like him. So I recognize him immediately and I'm like, oh, hey, Grandpa. And I was like, well, I gotta go get Hobbs. So he just smiles at me. He doesn't really say, I don't think he said anything. I don't know if he even said hi. I think he just smiles at me. And he goes inside. It's like either to check on Dave or, I don't know, to be there with him while he transitions on. I don't know, Danielle. I don't. But my grandpa's there going inside to go do something with Dave, right? So I go to the car. The football player's starting to pull away. I open the door. I go, dude, I can't let you drive away with my son. And I start to unbuckle Hobbs, and the car's moving. Like, keep in mind, the car's moving, and I'm somehow walking and doing this. I don't know. And the football player is like, he starts getting, like, upset, not like yelling, but like emotional, like crying, kind of like he starts to get like okay, so he didn't start getting tears in his eyes quite yet. He was like, I did not like the way you were yelling at Dave. I go, dude, I know, I'm sorry, like, I shouldn't have been yelling at him. And I don't remember yelling at him, but apparently I was probably raising my voice at him because I was probably upset that he's relapsing, right? But I told Dave, like, up in the room, what did I say to him? I said something about, like, I don't know, I wrote it down, but I said something to him like I get it, dude, I understand, I'm here for you, but I can't let you take the kids. So I said something, you know, like that, like I wasn't mad at him. I'll have to look back and see what I wrote down. So anyways, the football player's like, I didn't like the way you were yelling at Dave. And I was like, no, dude, I get it. Like, you're right. I shouldn't have been yelling. I just am very upset that he's using again. And I cannot let him have the kids with him relapsing. And he kind of is like, huh? And I was like, and because he didn't know about Dave's history with the drugs. So I start to tell him, and he's like trying to interrupt me while I'm trying to tell him, and we're both kind of like raising our voices, and I'm like kind of like yelling, trying to talk louder than him, like kind of screaming, like higher pitched, like trying to be heard, right? And he's like, no, I don't want to hear it, you shouldn't have been yelling at him, da, da, da. And I'm like, no, you don't understand, like, he, like, and I finally just like blurted out, I'm like, he has a history of, like, that I know of 18 different substances, ranging from marijuana to Percocet to heroin, so I cannot let him take the kids. And he was like, oh. And I go, look, I was like, I am sorry for yelling. And I start to tell him about, like, what happened in the kitchen when I broke up with Dave, when I kicked him out of the house. And I tell him, I said, look, this is what happened, why I had to break it off with Dave to begin with. And I tell him, you know, because of being in the kitchen and Dave getting in my face so close, he's standing on my foot and screaming while Callie's there and she's like scared and hiding underneath the table. And as I'm telling him this, he is like visually getting tears welling up in his eyes and starting to get very, very triggered. And he was like, you know, like basically saying like, oh, I understand, I didn't know, like, you know, like basically you could tell it triggered something in him because he'd been through something similar. So he goes, yeah, well, that basically just sounds like Dave sober. And I was like, okay, dude, you get it. So I don't know what happens with the car in the meantime. I don't know if he stops, and this is why we're having the conversation, because I do think I was like in the front seat at this point, but I think I was like standing outside the front seat and he was in the driver's. But so he's in my car, right? So I think he was like still driving, like very slowly, like I don't know, it was weird. So I'm holding Hobbs at this point. I go, look, dude, like, this is my car. I can't let you drive away with my car. You know I'm gonna need to call this in and report it as stolen. And he goes, it's not your car, it's your mom's car. And I'm like, it's not my mom's car. They gave it to me as a present, you know, because it was my wedding present. I was like, it's not hers. Like, they gave it to me as a present. It is my car. I need to call it in as stolen unless you stop and give me back my car. And then I slowly wake up. And like you said, like, I mean, it was so real, so vivid, so detailed, so intricate. And that to me just seems like such a long dream. It was like a whole story unfolding. But this is 2 nights in a row now of me getting messages about Dave. And I'm not saying I'm a psychic, because I don't fucking know. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I do think it's kind of related to me getting out in nature and doing that sunrise walk. I think the more time I spend out in nature and connecting to nature, the more connected I am intuition-wise. Because that night that I did Angel's Landing in Zion, which was like a huge, the drive, the 2.5-hour drive, the 4-hour hike, the 2.5-hour drive home, like, that was like a huge day connected to nature. And that was the night that I had the dream about the white rats falling into the big black hole. And then a week and a half later is when I was standing there at the mechanics and heard the story about the condo collapse into the sinkhole. And I immediately thought of that dream. And I was just like, holy shit, that was my dream. I mean, the rats, but the people, you know, like, I guess my analogy was like, we're the rats falling into a big black hole, right? Into a sinkhole. Like, so, I don't know. Maybe it's coming up that Dave's going to relapse. And yeah. So I did try to just like not freak out about him relapsing. And I wrote down, I said, okay, takeaways from this dream. Sorry, my phone's blowing up with plans for camping. Takeaways from this dream. The biggest takeaway that I got from that dream is that my kids are safe. Callie is not at the house when Dave is very obviously relapsing, and I safely remove Hobbs from the situation. So that was my biggest takeaway, is that, okay, the kids are safe. I don't need to start freaking out. I don't need to start panicking that he's going to relapse and something's going to happen to the kids, because the universe is showing me that when this time comes and Dave relapses, both kids are safe. That was my biggest takeaway from it. And there was one other takeaway, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, that my grandpa's there. And whether he guides Dave, I don't know, maybe Dave's going to experience his own NDE, and relapse, and my grandpa's going to be there to help him through it, and then maybe he'll come back, or I don't know, I don't, but my grandpa was there, and he was definitely going to show me that he was going to go be with Dave, with him relapsing. So, those were my biggest takeaways. But holy shit, talk about just seriously the most vivid, most detailed dream that I've had. And then just the whole thing with the boat crash, the ship sinking the night before. It's just I think I'm going to get the opportunity to be a first responder. So I am going to renew my CPR. I'm going to leave at 2:30 with Alicia instead of leaving at 11 with Rachel and her daughter, so that I can start putting stuff out for the free yard sale. So I didn't shower yet this morning. I'm a beautiful mess, because I'm going to go get sweaty putting stuff outside. So it's kind of pointless to go shower. Let me drive around the other way to park on that side of the street. So, yeah, girl, it has been, what you said, the last 2 nights with you having super vivid dreams and me having super vivid dreams, oh, hey, 925. On their license plate, what state is that? I'm going to go back and see what state it was on their license plate, since their license plate was 925. Maybe it's supposed to get my attention about the state. So I am super curious to hear about your dream. God, there are a lot of homes for sale. Okay. So I'm definitely going to be putting my home for sale. I'm actually very excited. I am so excited to downsize and get rid of shit, girl. I can't even begin to tell you. I do lack this attachment to stuff anymore. I pretty much just want all of it gone, except for the basic necessities, clothes and towels, and I just want everything gone. And, my new camping gear and stuff like that I just got, right? So, and my bike. I don't know. I seriously want as much shit gone as possible. I'm gonna call my mom and ask her what she wants me to do with the stuff from my grandparents, because that's sweet, but I'm not gonna keep them. It is a California license plate, 925. I'm going to California. I've got that trip coming up. So, anywho, and see, I drove by it. I drove that way when I don't usually drive that way. So, anywho, I think that's everything. Definitely going to be renewing my CPR. And then that way I'm all set for when I am a first responder, because I'll be a doctor of physical therapy. I will have a current CPR, ALS, advanced, maybe it's ALS, advanced life support, versus the basic life support. I don't know. I'll look. I'll figure it out. But I'll do the thing. I'll get what I need. Maybe I should do the advanced, a more advanced one, if there is one available to me, so that I'm ready. I think the only thing I don't know how to do is IV, but I don't know if I need to be doing that in the field, right? I'd be doing other stuff. But I think I'm going to get the chance to be a first responder. So I am pretty pumped about that. And a first responder, I think, is technically a paramedic, but somebody on the scene, in the time of emergency. I seriously started saying that. I want to say back at the original OS, back in 2012, 2012 or 2013, because I remember saying it in that location, in the first OS location. I remember talking about it then. Okay. I just rambled your ear off. I love you. I can't wait to hear about your dreams. I hope that's what you shot me about. Okay.